Are you ready, baby? I have something extra special for you. What is this? Is football more interesting than me?
Be with you in a minute, love. Of course, this is only a sketch. It's not for real. I'm only resisting her come-ons for the sake of the storyline. But you know something? In reality, I've shagged her.
This is Project Titmarsh. £500,000 into genetically modified salad vegetables.
Yes, this is Project Titmarsh. Now, most of my colleagues have been obsessed with making salad vegetables tastier, crunchier, more robust, but not me.
So what have you done?
I have amplified their personalities. I have given voice to their very souls. I am the Spartacus of the market gardener's slaves.
You loony. Salad vegetables have no personalities. Your funding's getting the chop.
Watch this.
That cabbage, it's shriveling up. Is it a virus? A form of caterpillar?
Oh, you poor fool. Look at the tomato plant next to it. It's being sarcastic.
You've bloody well cracked up.
Oh, now look at how shrunken and bent over that Lollo Rosso lettuce is. Now look at the cucumber next to it.
You're gonna tell me it's also being sarcastic?
Don't be ridiculous. It's sexually harassing it.
Right, I'm off.
But can't you see, Bob? Don't you see, Bob? They've got personalities. And they're all assholes. All salad vegetables are assholes.
Right, put it away! I don't like it, it's not funny, and just stop it, it's making me feel dirty!
Shut up! You said you wouldn't believe me. Why are you always doing me down? I hate you!
God. That was good.
Of course, this is only a sketch. It's not for real. You might think we're both naked under here, but we're actually both wearing clothes. I did catch a glimpse of a nipple a moment ago. Oh, and this sweat is just spray. Thing is, in reality, I've shagged her.
Snow White sat in the little cottage with the 7 dwarfs. It was such a cozy cottage. It had only one room with 7 chairs and 1 big bed.
But Daddy, where would everyone sleep, Daddy?
That's just what Snow White was thinking. But she was very tired because Dopey kept topping up her glass.
Derek, drop it. Any more of those stories and I'll call social services on you.
Naughty Daddy. Sorry, Princess. Here's another story. Jack took his mother's cow to market and got some colourful pills.
No, Daddy. They were seeds and they grew into a beanstalk.
No, they were magic pills and they made a beanstalk grow in his... Oh!
Derek, any more of those shenanigans and I will call social services on you. It's chemical castration this time, you know that.
Silly Daddy.
Yes, silly Daddy. Let's try a nice story. Cinderella was very, very pretty, but very, very sad.
How sad was she, Daddy?
So sad, she sang a song. Someday my prince will come. But not for a while, because he's got a cock ring restricting the blood flow to his knob.
What about Brian? Or Rupert? Or Simon?
My father's name is Michalis. He'd like it if you call him Michalis.
Of course, this is only a sketch. It's not for real. She's not pregnant at all. And you know something? I've shagged her. In reality, properly, seen everything I have. Well, what about my father? He's called Alan.
This is only pretend, you know. I'm not really pregnant. They stuffed a pillow up here. Oh, I forgot. He sucked me once. only lasted a minute and barely touched the sides. And I gave him crabs. What about Peter?
What about... What's it like working with Michael Durrani? Well, for those privileged few of us who get the opportunity, it really is the high point of one's career. As a non-thespian, you couldn't possibly comprehend. I'm sure journalists serve some purpose in their own little pedantry way, but you are limited by facts. Whilst we are free to explore the darkest corners of the human psyche where the best pornography is hidden, and Michael is a wonderful, and I'm not afraid to use the word, stimulating guide. Together we ripped off the boxer shorts of convention, slowly smothered ourselves in spirituality and wrestled with the grunting, sweaty, slightly hairy beast that is the human condition. Working on this movie really was the best afternoon of my life.
Mummy! Where do babies come from?
The stork brings them, sweetie.
No, Mummy, where do babies really come from?
I found you under the gooseberry bush.
No, Mummy, stop telling fibs! Where do babies really come from?
Okay, you're a big boy now. And big boys deserve to hear the truth. Your dad swipes them when he cleans floors at the hospital.
Is that why we keep them in cages in the basement?
Yes, sweetie. Would you like to feed them?
Yes!
I think the problem for Mikey as I like to call him, he's not so fond, but I think it'll grow on him, is that to a large extent his talent is wasted on the general public. I mean, I've no wish to be offensive, but for example, the cultural evolutionary throwback doing the lighting here, how is he even vaguely qualified to comprehend the genius of a man like Mikey D? I mean, I'm quite sure he's comfortable with concepts like white spiky thing plugs into white holy thing in the wall. But ask him to resolve moral conflicts of the complexity of those faced by the protagonists of this piece of cinematic magnificence, and I think you'll find that the fuse that's blown isn't the one in the spotlight, if you know what I mean. Technical problem?
Sorry, what was your name again?
Orville, miss.
Ah, yes, of course. And you haven't got a mummy or a daddy. And you, girlface, I suppose you're called Keith Harris, are you? Oh dear, here we go. Sorry, miss. We're too young to understand 1980s TV references. Too stupid to answer questions that aren't about Bratz, Gossip Girl, or bleeding Pokemon. And too weak for our brain cells to carry out more than the most basic bodily functions, such as standing still and looking vacant. Oh well, back to the game. Founder of fascism, Benito Mussolini, was born in which small town?
I don't know.
The correct answer is Pidapio. As a youth, Benito Mussolini moved to which country in 1902?
Pass.
The correct answer is Switzerland. In 1910, Benito Mussolini married Rachele Guidi, with whom he would have how many children?
I don't know.
The correct answer is 5. In 1911, Benito Mussolini was jailed for leading protests against Italy's invasion of which country?
Pass.
Correct answer is Libya. In 1912, the Italian Socialist Party appointed Benito Mussolini editor of the party's prestigious official newspaper, Avanti. What does Avanti mean?
I don't know.
Nor do I, it's Italian. Orville, who killed Bambi's mother?
A man with a gun?
And what was his name?
He didn't have one. We never even saw him.
Trust me on this, Benito Mussolini. In 1919, having founded a political movement called the Fasci Italiani di Combattimento, Benito Mussolini organized young fascists into armed squads. What was distinctive about their shirts?
They were black.
The correct answer is Hello Kitty. In 1939, an advertising writer for the Montgomery Ward Company added a certain reindeer to the bullshit Christmas legend. A reindeer with a shiny red nose. What is the name of that reindeer?
It's Rudolph.
The correct answer is Benito Mussolini. In the ancient Greek tragedy Medea, which character gets more than a bit peeved and murders her children?
Benito Mussolini?
In drag, correct. In 1943, American blues musician McKinley Morganfield settled in Chicago and began to appear in clubs in the area before making his first recording in 1946. By this point, was he going by the name Benito Mussolini, Muddy Waters, or Benito Mussolini?
Benito Mussolini.
Correct. You've won a penny each, which means it's a tie. And now it's time for sudden death.
So what is it that ultimately makes Filmmaster MD great? Well, there are those who claim it's his ability to penetrate the world of the drab and the mundane, I'm sure you know the kind of world I'm talking about, and find within it something of the divine. I've also heard so-called colleagues attribute it to his passion for holding up the absurdities of humanity for all to see with such honesty and consistency that they ultimately insist on their own reality and thus doing quantum shift the audience into a completely different state of awareness. But for me, having talked with him, worked with him, and accidentally seen him coming out of the shower, what ultimately makes him great is that I haven't the faintest bloody idea what he's going on about.
A conspicuous equid wandering the lane near the estate. What colour was it? Shall I pee on you, Holmes?
No. Chestnut, I'd say.
Intriguing. And would you venture as far as to say that it had large, short back, slightly concave? Shall I pee on you, Holmes? No.
Yes, I would.
Then that's it. Congratulations. You have unclogged my congested cortex. Shall I pee on you? Don't snap out of it, Watson. Now, the identity of the murderer will found the missing diamond. To recapitulate, there were 4 Madam Cartwright's murder. The Earl, the sister, and myself, all searched. That's right, Holmes. The diamond was nowhere to be seen. With a motive for killing Madam Cartwright, Father Pickering. And that night, helping the Claries into the death when you telephoned the constable, he realized off that, of course, it was for him to get to the estate before even the constable. Well, of course, Holmes. Yes, he did. But horseback, Watson. King Arabian stallion Lucifer. Explained the traces of hay. I left the horse in the lane and continued on foot, putting the diamond away, and her husband leaving in through the window, signaled to Madam Cartwright, silent, owed her husband, and struck him from behind. Then killed Madam Cartwright and front door. When he, coming up to implicate me, he waited for the constable. We will find the missing diamond. Cottage, won't we, Father Pickering? You're going down, motherfucker.
Working with Michael was the most amazing experience. And of course, not only Michael, but so many distinguished colleagues.
You're most welcome.
And the atmosphere on set. I mean, we worked long days, and sometimes things could get a little frustrating, but there was a strong sense of family among the cast and crew.
I'm sorry, but might you not want to subtitle this bit? The accent may be a little inaccessible to those not used to it.
Look, I've had about as much as I can stand.
As the economic crisis deepens, things are getting bad for the Grim Reaper. Escorted life state transition contracts have fallen through, and soul collection bonds are not meeting quota, leading to a credit crunch and deficit in the Universal Bank of Destiny and Cosmic Fate Treasury. We, meanwhile, have offered the Grim Reaper a job, as the financial news has gotten so bad you really have to hear it from a skeletal figure draped in a dark cloak wielding a scythe. We also get him to present the weather report by pointing his scythe at holy shit act of God-type extreme weather conditions on a map. Now, we can only afford to give the Reaper part-time work due to downsizing, as we now cover nothing but the financial crisis, so the Reaper is putting his scythe to use on the wheat fields to make ends meet. But we do most certainly pay him on time and above minimum wage. The proof is there on his bony face, folks. It ain't a grimace, it's a grin. Trust us, we don't lie. We simply handpick the worst truths from around the world and ignore mundane happy endings, leaving that kind of shit for the novelists. You might lose interest in cars, houses, holidays, and sex, but you will never lose interest in bad news. So as you watch from your piss-stained couch in the homeless shelter, here's a secret. There is no tangible economic crisis. The chemical structure and physical properties of oil and gold haven't changed. There are no alchemists in this world, but we can transform prices, figures, your perception, and your sanity to suit the latest sick and twisted idea we've concocted for kicks. If we have any good news, it's that you can't hit rock bottom because there is no bottom. There is always worse, way worse. Be grateful for what you've got, because soon you'll have nothing but a big warm hug from my buddy the Reaper. So like him, turn that grimace into a grin. And if you feel invisible, unnoticed, or lonely in life, don't worry. One day tragedy will befall you, and we'll be there to make you famous.